There is a profound observation I have been making about your life, and I want to describe it with such precision that you finally understand what has been occurring in the unseen spaces around you. This isn't a report from a distance or a summary lacking texture. I have been present in every room you walked into, every hallway you passed through, and every midnight hour when a shadow tried to attach itself to your spirit. I have been watching, and what I have seen has not shaken my confidence in the blueprint I designed for you before your first breath. What was aimed at you did not land with the impact its senders intended. What was spoken against you was never authorized to keep you down. That is the truth I want to plant at the very center of your heart today. What was spoken against you was never authorized to keep you down. The forces that thought they had secured your defeat didn't know who they were up against. They didn't consult the architect of your soul before they launched their efforts, and that was their ultimate failure. I know that in your story, you were told things, sometimes through words, but often through patterns. You saw repeated disappointments move through your family like an inherited trait, until everyone simply accepted it as the inevitable way of things. You breathed in an atmosphere of heaviness that taught you joy was always temporary, and suffering was the only thing you could rely on. You absorbed this before you even had the words to describe it. That absorption reached the deepest parts of your psyche, the parts that decide in advance what is possible and what is not. Some of that weight came through the mouths of people who held authority over you, wounded people who passed on their own limitations. They gave you their own unhealed perspectives, words of comparison that left you measuring yourself against a standard you were never meant to meet. I remember the exact moment each of those sentences landed on your heart. And I want you to know they never carried my endorsement. They were never the final word about you. Some of what worked against you came from sources you couldn't see, spiritual residues and old agreements made by generations you never met. You inherited structural problems in a house you didn't build. You've adapted to this discomfort because it felt normal, but normal was never the same as right. I know your name. Darkness tries to tell you that you are anonymous, just one face in a sea of billions. That is a lie designed to make you feel unprotected. The truth is, the adversary knows your name only because I spoke it first. The darkness knows your address because my light has been burning on it since before you arrived there. Whatever has been targeting you specifically has been targeting something that belongs specifically to me. Before your features were shaped, I knew your name. I inscribed it. I set it apart. I attached to it a purpose that nothing in heaven or earth has the authority to annul. Everything that has tried to overwrite that inscription with a smaller story has been operating beyond the bounds of any authority it actually possesses. You are standing in this moment on contested ground. There were forces working in the background of your life to build structures of constraint. They built walls around your thinking until the walls felt like the edge of the world. They installed low ceilings over your expectations so you would stop standing at full height. But I am here for the demolition. Right now, in this season, I am at active work tearing down every wall that was built without my permit. When the owner of the land finds unauthorized construction, that construction must come down. The demolition will feel like a loosening of a grip that has been tight for a lifetime. The ceiling you've been bumping your head against is developing cracks. It isn't falling because of your effort. It's falling because I have applied the pressure of my authority against it. Spoken words carry weight, but I spoke the original word. Every curse, every word of dismissal, every sentence of defeat arrived after my word was already in place. Nothing that comes second can overwrite the original. Witchcraft is just noise in the presence of my silence. Curses dissolve at the border of the light I have placed around you. I am the judge. I wrote the law, and I say that what was spoken against you was never authorized to keep you down. Look at what has happened in your family line, the patterns of broken trust, the financial ceilings, the cycles of addiction. These are not family traits. They are unaddressed spiritual construction. I am closing doors that were opened generations ago. I am breaking the machinery of repetition because I chose you to be the one where the cycle stops. When I look at you, I see a survivor of a calibrated attack. The pressure you felt was intended to break you structurally, and yet you are still here. You are still breathing. You are still hoping. That is your testimony. You didn't manufacture that resilience. I built it into you and it held. You were made to be fruitful. The life in you is not a trickle surviving barely in a parched season. It is a river that has been partially dammed, but the source has never run dry. The source is me. The obstructions are being cleared away right now. My spirit comes the way a dove settles, quietly and without fanfare. You might have expected liberation to be loud and violent, but often it's a quiet settling on your shoulder. It's a thought that clears like fog. It's a sudden realization that the interior noise has stopped. I am not just a God who destroys. I am a God who builds. Every wall I take down is to clear space for something that couldn't fit before. The new foundation I am laying for you is identity. Not the identity patched together by your circumstances, but the one I authored before time began. I am restoring the original you, the version of you that existed before the world tried to layer its definitions over your soul. You are returning to who you always were, but with the strength of someone who has overcome. I am raising walls of protection around you, not cages, but shelters. They establish a perimeter around your household and your future, within which the organized forces that have been working against you simply do not have access. There is anointing oil I want to pour over your life, over your head, where the new thinking needs to be established, over your household, which I am both protecting and rebuilding. Don't listen to the fear that whispers about the pattern returning. This time is different. I am going to the root. I am not repainting the ceiling. I am replacing the ground. Think about the long years in the valley, the years of loss and betrayal. Those years were not wasted. The people who left your life weren't built for where you're going. Those years were for root development. A tree grows its deepest roots in the hardest seasons. The harvest you're moving into requires a root system that can hold massive weight. I want you to stand up straight. Practice the posture of a free person. Your prayers are not religious obligations. They are structural resources. Your prayers for your family have more weight than you know. I am working in the lives of those you love in ways you cannot yet see. I am preparing encounters for them that will open doors shut for decades. Trust me with the people you love. You're not the only one who wants them free. The disorientation you feel as the old self falls away is temporary. The truer version of you is more stable. You're being reoriented to a life where you are treated with honor, where you receive provision without the old glitch that always took it away. In the days ahead, you will look back and see how every ending was a preparation. Your primary emotion will be recognition, the realization that it was all part of a plan. You will carry an authority in your voice that didn't come from a book, but from the fire. You will be the one who can say, I saw the walls fall, and I saw the new foundation rise. Your voice has power in this. When you speak agreement with what I'm saying, you create something the old structures cannot stand against. Don't wait to feel brave before you move. Move in the direction of my words, and the feeling will catch up. The weapons formed against you have already failed.